Hello students, welcome to English Literature class. Today I'm going to do Act 3 Scene 5. Before starting, I hope you have finished watching all the previous videos, made notes, completed the workbook notes children. So let us find out what happens in Act 3 Scene 5. In the previous video, what did we do? We saw how Portia had made plans to disguise herself as a lawyer and go to Venice to save Antonio. Her plans. She reveals her plans to Nerissa. Let us find out what happens in Act 3 Scene 5. I'm in page number 107, children. I hope you have the textbook with you and a pencil in your hand to jot down the meanings. So before I start, okay, there's a brief summary given in the textbook, which I'm going to read now. The scene begins with a humorous dialogue from Lancelot. The arrival of Lorenzo cut short Lancelot's foolery, for Lorenzo orders him to go in. Left alone, Lorenzo asks Jessica how much she likes Portia, to which she replies that there is no woman in the world equal to her. The scene is set in a lighter vein, which refreshes and amuses, and thus heightens by contrast the seriousness of the trial scene which is to follow. Okay, children, scene 5. Belmont, a garden. Please take a pencil, underline. Where does this scene take place? Belmont, a garden. Who are the people present in the scene, children? Underline, Lancelot and Jessica. So, I'm going to read Lancelot's dialogue. Yes, truly, for look you, the sins of the father are to be laid upon the children. Therefore, I promise you, I fear you. I was always plain with you, and so now I speak my agitation of the matter, and therefore be of good cheer, for truly I think you are damned. So what are these two doing here? Please remember now, already Bassanio and Gratiano have left for Venice, and also Portia and Nerissa have also left for Venice. Now we already know that actually Lancelot and Jessica are good friends. How do we know that? In Act 2, Scene 3, is yes, there we saw how who is that Lancelot takes leave of Jessica, and how Jessica called him her merry devil. Okay, she could tolerate her house because of the presence of Lancelot. So they're good friends actually. So what is Lancelot trying to tell Jessica here? He is truly for, look you, the sins of the father to be laid upon the children. He is very certain, truly, he is very certain, very sure. You see, he tells her the sins of the father ought to be laid upon the children. He believes that for the God punishes the children for the sins committed by the parents, by the father. So here a reference is made to the Bible, book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 5. I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. So he's quoting from the Bible. He thinks that she will be punished by God for the sins committed by her father. Therefore, I promise you, I fear you. He assures her, okay, that he fears for her. So the sins of the father ought to be laid, ought to be revenged upon the children. So I fear you, I fear for you. I was plain with you. I was always honest with you, straightforward with you. And so now I speak my agitation of the matter, he tells now. Please remember, Lancelot is known for mixing up words, malapropism. So he should have told the word instead of agitation. He should have used the word cogitation, thought. So he wants to be very plain with her, talk to her in a straightforward way, in an honest way. He tells now, he wants to tell her what he is thinking. Okay, therefore be of good cheer, for truly I think you're damned. What is he telling? Be cheerful because you're going to be damned. What do you mean by damned, children? So damned means fated to meet damnation after death. So one who is condemned to go to hell after death. And what is he telling? He's telling to be happy, be cheerful, because anyway you're going to be fated to meet damnation after death. How can so? Please remember, this is an example for malapropism. So he tells her that she's sure to be damned, yet he asks her to be of good cheer. So this is an example of one of his malapropisms. Jessica, I shall be saved by my husband. He hath made me a Christian. Oh, she has no worry that she'll be damned to hell, because by marrying a Christian now, she has become a Christian. So definitely she will not be condemned to hell. So Jessica means that by being converted to Christianity by her husband, she will be saved from damnation. Lancelot, truly the more to blame he. We were Christians enough before, even as many as could live one by another. This making of Christians will raise the price of hogs. If we grow all to be pork eaters, we shall not shortly have a rasher on the coals for money. So now Lancelot, he seems to be angry with, it's all, please remember, everything is said in jest, children. Don't take it seriously. Okay, Lancelot, he likes Lorenzo, he likes Jessica also. But he's having fun at the expense of Jessica. He's teasing Jessica. Truly, the more to blame. Who is to be blamed now? Lorenzo is to be blamed for getting people converted to Christianity. He is to be blamed for getting people converted to Christianity. We were Christians enough. Already there were enough Christians before Jessica was made a Christian. Even as many as could well live one by another. There were sufficient people, Christians, living, okay? This making, now what is the problem according to Lancelot here? This making of Christians will raise the price of hogs. He believes that if more number of people convert to Christianity, there will be an increase in the number of pork eaters. According to eating of pork is forbidden to Jewish people. So if more people start eating, if more people start converting to Christianity, it means that more people will start eating pork. So what will happen one day? The demand is so much, the supply will be less. One day there will be a day we shall not shortly have a ration on the coals for money. One day a day will come that even if people have money, they will not get even a slice of bacon cooking on the fire. Rasher on the coals, slice of bacon cooking on the fire. Jessica, I will tell my husband Lancelot, what you say. Here he comes, just like small children. Okay, if you tell something, they'll tell, I will tell this to my father, I will tell this to my mother. So what does she tell? Okay, you have a complaint against Lorenzo. Okay, I will tell my husband whatever problems you have. So I will tell him. What you say? Here he comes. Anyway, here he comes. I will tell. Enter Lorenzo. I shall grow jealous of you shortly, Lancelot, if you thus get my wife into corners. Children, there are some lines, okay, in the scene which have been deleted by the council from the original text. So here some lines are deleted. So Lorenzo, okay, he is not a suspicious husband. Okay, he knows that Lancelot and Jessica are good friends, but he just he teases Lancelot that he will really become jealous if Lancelot, okay, if he sees them whispering in corners. Then Jessica tells, "Nay, you need not fear us, Lorenzo. Lancelot and I are out. He tells me flatly there is no mercy for me in heaven because I'm a Jew's daughter. And he says, you are no good member of the Commonwealth, for in converting Jews to Christians, you raise the price of pork." Oh, Jessica, okay, consoles him, tries to take out the doubt in his mind. No, you don't fear about us, about our friendship, Lorenzo, because Lancelot and I are out. Just now we have quarreled. he tells me flatly, very plainly, okay, that there is no mercy for me in heaven. See how he tells me that there is no hope of salvation for me in heaven. He tells that I'll be condemned to hell. So what does this mean here? What does this show about the Christians, children? Christians in those days believed that there was no salvation for the souls of Jews and non-Christians. So according to Lancelot, okay, Jessica being the daughter of a Jew, she is sure to be damned to hell. So that is what she is reporting to Lorenzo, because so he tells me very flatly, plainly, that there is no mercy for me in heaven because I'm a Jew's daughter. And she adds, he says, you are no good member of the Commonwealth. See, he's not only talking about me, he's also complaining about you, that you are not a good member of the Christian community. Why? For in converting Jews to Christians, you raise the price of poor. He's complaining that since you are getting people converted to Christianity, you are the reason for the raise in the price of poor. Because he earlier, what had he told? That a day might come when even if people have money, they won't even get a slice of bacon cooking on the fire. So when Jessica tells this, let us see what Lorenzo tells. Here also some lines have been deleted, children. So the second part of the dialogue is here. So some lines have been deleted. So Lorenzo tells to Lancelot, go in, Sirrah, bid them prepare for dinner. Lancelot, that is done, sir. They have all stomachs. Lorenzo, goodly Lord, what a wit snapper are you. Then bid them prepare dinner. Lancelot, that is done too, sir. Only cover is the word. Will you cover then, sir? Lancelot, not so, sir. Neither. I know my duty. Children, here, and there's a fun conversation where Lorenzo tells something and Lancelot deliberately misunderstands them. So he tells, Lancelot tells Lorenzo to go inside and tell the servants to prepare for dinner. He means to say that the servants should serve them dinner. But Lancelot deliberately misunderstands and tells, prepare for, what does Lorenzo means? He wants the dinner servants to get dinner, to serve dinner. But what does Lancelot mean? How does he deliberately misunderstand? That is done, sir. Yes, they're already prepared for dinner. Means the servants are prepared to have dinner. They're prepared themselves for dinner. They have all stomachs. They're all hungry. Yes, naturally. Okay, if you call them for dinner, they are prepared for dinner. Lorenzo, goodly Lord, good. What is this? What a comedian you are. What a wit snapper are you. Then bid them prepare dinner. So he tells, then tell them to get dinner ready. So then again he deliberately, okay, now Lancelot makes correction. That is done, sir. Prepare dinner. Yes, dinner is already ready. What you should say is, only cover is the word. Children, he is trying to pun on the word cover. What does cover mean? To place the dishes on the table. So Lancelot is teaching Lorenzo the right word to be used. If he wants dinner to be served, he should have said cover. So Lorenzo, will you cover then, sir? Yes, will you tell the servants to place the dishes on the table then? Lancelot, not so, sir, neither. I know my duty. Now deliberately he missed. Okay, there is another meaning for cover. What is the meaning of cover? To put on your hat. Children, you must remember that a subordinate could not keep his head covered with a hat in front of their superiors. When Lorenzo tells, will you cover then? In what sense did Lorenzo use the word cover? Will you tell the servants to place the dishes on the table? What does Lancelot understands? Whether he will keep his head covered with a hat in front of his superior. Not so, sir, neither. I cannot do it, sir. How can I do? How can I cover my head in front of you? You're my superior. I know my duty. I know my place. I know my place in this situation, I can't keep my head covered. Oh, Lorenzo is exasperated. He's really annoyed with Lancelot, because he's the one who teaches him the word cover, and then he tells he will not cover, deliberately misunderstanding Lorenzo. Yet more, quarreling with occasion. Will thou show the whole wealth of thy wit in an instant? I pray thee. Sorry, there is a spelling error, children. I pray thee, understand a plain man in his plain meaning. Go to thy fellows, bid them cover the table, serve in the meat, and we will come to dinner. So, now Lorenzo, okay, accuses Lancelot, that whether he has to dispute everything. So he tells him, quarreling with occasion, disputing as to whether the word is exactly suitable in the particular occasion. Yet more, quarreling with occasion. Why do you have to do every time? Why he wants to find out mistakes in everything. Lorenzo is heartily tired of Lancelot's puns. He tells him he's still quibbling at every opportunity. He asks him whether he's trying to show them all his cleverness in one instance, in one moment. So he begs of him to try to take in the meaning of the simple words of a simple man. He tells Lancelot to go and tell his fellow servants to lay the table and bring in the food, and then they will come to dinner. Any doubt, children? Yet more, quarreling with the occasion. So how he's trying to still he's quibbling at every opportunity to point mistakes, okay, in the words that Lorenzo is using. So he tells that he's a very simple man. He's using simple language. He appeals to Lancelot to understand his plain language, and tells him to understand plain man in his plain meaning. Go to thy fellow servants, bid them cover the table. Cover the table means to place the dishes on the table. Serve in the meat, to serve the meat. And when everything is done, then Jessica and Lorenzo will come to have dinner. Lancelot, what does he have to say? For the table, sir, it shall be served in. For the meat, sir, it shall be covered. For you coming into dinner, sir, why, let it be as humors and conceit shall govern. So Lancelot deliberately mixes up the words. So he tells, what does he do? Lancelot inverts the word table, meat, and bid in a ridiculous manner. He tells Lorenzo that the table should be served, meaning laid. That meant that meat shall be covered, meaning served. He says that as for their coming into dinner, that depends on their mood and fancy. For he cannot bid them to do anything. After all, he is a servant. So after saying this, Lancelot exits. Lorenzo, oh dear discretion, how his words are suited, that the fool hath planted in his memory an army of good words, and I do know many fools that stand in better place, garnished like him, that for a tricksy word defy the matter. How cheerest thou, Jessica? And now, good sweet, say thy opinion. How dost thou like the Lord Bassanio's wife? Lorenzo, now, okay, he's rather vexed with Lancelot's nonsense. He remarks that he knows many men who have higher rank in society, but are really fools like him. They have a large stock of good words, and like him, they will let the whole sense of the subject in hand go by for the sake of using a witty and clever expression, that is, by placing a double meaning on a word. So whom is he addressing? Oh dear discretion. What do you mean? Here actually discretion has been personified. What do you mean by discretion? So it actually discretion means the quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense. So now he's personified discretion. And another figure of speech, actually, when you address someone, okay, who is personified, okay, it is often the addressee is a, what is an apostrophe? It's an exclamatory figure of speech. Often the addressee is a personified abstract quality or inanimate object. So here discretion has been personified. So what does discretion mean? The quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense. So now he addresses discretion. How his words are suited. Lorenzo is surprised at Lancelot's ability to distinguish different meanings of a word to fit them for his purpose. And he calls Lancelot as a fool that has planted in his memory, collected in his memory, an army of good words. He has collected a good stock of words. And he goes on to say, I do know, Lorenzo says, I know many fools that stand in a better place. They have better positions, perhaps as professional fools, garnished like him, supplied with the stock of words that for a tricksy word defy the matter. So these people avoid the real meaning by confusing people by using words, okay, a word which enables a trick to be played with double meaning. So he tells that there are many people who are better placed than Lancelot, and what do all of them do? They have a large stock of good words like him, and they will let the whole sense of the subject in hand go by for the sake of using a witty and clever expression, that is by placing a double meaning on a word. So these people, they avoid the real meaning by confusing people. So then now he just wants to stop talking of Lancelot. Now he asks his wife, how cheerest thou, Jessica? How are you? Are you happy? Sorry, it's not how are you. How cheerest thou? Are you happy, Jessica? And now, good sweet, my dear, say thy opinion. Give your opinion. How dost thou like the Lord Bassanio's wife? He wants to know Jessica's opinion about Portia, Lord Bassanio's wife, how she likes him and her opinion. Let us find out what Jessica has to say. Past all expressing, it is very meet the Lord Bassanio live an upright life, for having such a blessing in his lady, he finds the joys of heaven here on earth. And if on earth he do not mean it, then in reason he should never come to heaven. Why? If two gods should play some heavenly match, and on the wager lay two earthly women, and Portia one, there must be something else pawned with the other, for the poor rude world hath not her fellow. So what does Jessica tell? What is her opinion about Portia? Portia, so past all expressing, beyond all expression, she can't find words to express how good Portia is. And it is very meet, it is very necessary that Lord Bassanio live an upright life, that he leads an honorable life. For having why he should live an upright life, more honorable life, virtuous life, because having such a blessing in his lady, having got Portia as a wife, he finds the joys of heaven here on earth. Having Portia as his wife, he's finding the bliss of heaven on this earth. He's finding paradise here itself in earth. Usually people find paradise in heaven, but in Portia he is finding heavenly joy already in earth. And if on earth he do not mean it, and if on earth he does not enjoy this happiness, if he does not enjoy these joys of happiness, then in reason it is only reasonable that he should never come to heaven. As a punishment for that, if he is not enjoying that heavenly bliss on earth here, then in reason he should never go to heaven. And to prove her point, she tells, why, if two gods should play some heavenly match, and on the wager lay two earthly women, and Portia one, there must be something else bond with the other, for the poor rude world hath not a fellow. She goes on to tell that if two heavenly gods were to play some game of skill, heavenly match, and two earthly women were to be the wagers staked on the result of the contest, and if Portia were one of the two, there would have to be some additional value added to the other woman to make the stakes equal, because this crude world does not have a woman equal to Portia. So what do you mean by wager? If two people are okay, if they're playing, if I lose, I will give you 50. If you lose, you have to give me 50 rupees or 1000 rupees or whatever. So this is a wager. But here, what is a wager here? Okay, if two women. So if one god's stake is Portia, the other god should keep two women to equal Portia, because there is no one equal to Portia. She is unparalleled. To make the wager equal to Portia, two women have to be staked against her. This shows in how much high regard Jessica views Portia. Lorenzo, even such a husband has thou me, as she is for a wife. So Lorenzo tells, you have such a husband in me who has all the good qualities you have described in Portia as an ideal wife. So he thinks even he is also unparalleled as a husband. He wants to know, he instead of asking what Jessica feels about him, he himself boasts about himself that Jessica has a husband in him who has all the qualities she has described in Portia as an ideal wife. So what does Jessica has to tell? No, ask my opinion too of that. Why are you giving an opinion about yourself? Why, just like you ask my opinion about Portia, why don't you ask my opinion about you? Lorenzo, I will, Annan, soon. First, let us go to dinner. Yes, I will ask your opinion about me, but first let us go to dinner. Nay, let me praise you while I have a stomach. So what does Jessica tell? No. First, okay, let me give my opinion when I have an inclination to praise you. Stomach, again, the word has been punned. So she tells when she has the mood to praise him, she wants to give her opinion. When she is in a mood to give that opinion, okay, so when she has an inclination to praise him, she wants to do it now itself before going to dinner. Appetite for dinner. No, pray thee, let it serve for table talk. No, now Lorenzo gets a hint that she may not use good words against him. She might give unpleasant news about him, unpleasant opinion about him. So he gives a hint. So what does he tell? No, pray thee, let it serve for dinner time. Save it for dinner. While having dinner, you can give your opinion, express your opinion about me. Then howsoever thou speakest. So however, whatever you tell me, whatever your opinion is about me, whether good or bad. So what will happen? So when you are talking, when you are giving your opinion, so I will digest whatever you tell among other things while having dinner. Just like I swallow food, digest food, I will also digest your opinion. Well, I will set you forth. So Jessica tells, I will praise your qualities, set forth your qualities. Or again, the word has been, okay, there is another meaning. Put you in your place. I will put you in your place. Children, I hope you have understood. So what is the importance of this scene here, children? So this scene is in prose and gives a necessary pause to the dramatic action. Since Portia and Bassanio are on their way to Venice, this scene fills up the interval between the departure and the trial scene. So here what is Jessica's opinion about Portia? Please understand, and how Lorenzo's opinion of Lancelot. And also what you have to understand here is Lancelot's character has changed from an ignorant practical joker to a more refined jester. He now resembles a court fool, and perhaps he has learned something from Gratiano. His only malapropism is agitation for cogitation. He theorizes on the consequence of Jessica's turning Christian. In this scene, Lancelot reveals greater skill in punning than in the previous scenes. Children, I hope that you have understood the scene. I will meet you in the next class with the most important scene of the play, the much anticipated, the trial scene. See you in the next class.